One of Colorado's most beloved ski areas just released a new master plan. That's right, on the heels of Alterra's takeover, Arapahoe Basin is looking to have a lower mountain makeover. So what exactly does this plan entail, and how will it affect the future of skiing at the ski area? Join us as we explore A-Basin's 2025 Master Development Plan, its major propositions and shortcomings, and the implications they have for the legend. Arapahoe Basin honestly doesn't have too many major faults as it stands right now. A lot of people have been worried about the future of the mountain after it was acquired by the industry giant Alterra, but throughout the past season, not much of the on-mountain experience has changed. One of the few noticeable changes for skiers was the introduction of parking reservations to ensure an accurate and reliable count of skiers on the mountain, preventing it from ever getting overwhelmed. While the requirement to pay for parking is certainly questionable, there is no doubt that the idea of reservations themselves has helped keep A-Basin skiing as well as it ever has. For the upcoming 25-26 season, A-Basin is moving to unlimited days on the Icon Pass, but since the reservation policy will still be in effect, with a few minor changes, it's a fair bet that the on-mountain experience will continue to be as legendary as ever. This change to unlimited on Icon is more to increase weekday visitation, a boost which could help bring this master plan to life. One final thing to note before we jump in is that this master plan has not been approved or accepted, and is instead just a draft. The benefit for us, the general public, is that this document offers a glimpse into what the ski area's leaders are envisioning for the future of the hill. And of course, remember that master plans are simply a conglomerate of ideas, and are in no way, shape, or form a guarantee of the projects the mountain will undertake in the future. Alright, let's jump to Chapter 5, Section B, Upgraded Lift Network. A-Basin has no existing approvals for lifts, so the only lift projects are those in this section. Spoiler alert, they're pretty disappointing. First of all, you've got a pulse gondola to connect the upper parking lots to the tunnel that goes to the base area. This would replace the shuttle system, making access to the ski area a lot easier. But one of the major qualms we found with this lift is where it ends. The idea of the pulse gondola is to decrease the walk time or shuttle ride, but if you're already going to build a lift, why not take it directly into the base area? After all, those stairs down into the tunnel are pretty sketchy, and if you have the opportunity to entirely circumvent the walk rather than just shorten it, why not just go all the way? Nonetheless, this would be an upgrade over the shuttle system that gets stuck in traffic just the same as every other car, and would shorten the steep uphill walk that's the alternative to the shuttle. The three headliner projects of the master plan are an 8-person gondola, a high-speed quad, and a huge new building, all to go in the vicinity of Upper Wrangler. First off, you've got the high-speed quad, which would be nice and short and relatively slow in order to serve as a relocated bunny hill. This follows in the footsteps of the likes of Steamboat and others, moving the learning area higher onto the mountain both to alleviate base area congestion and to give learners a more immersive experience. Currently, all first-timers are limited to the tiny Molly Hogan area. In this plan, they would actually take one of the magic carpets currently in that area and put it up next to the new high-speed quad. Upper Wrangler is a nice, mellow, wide area that is perfect for learning and is highly underutilized currently, so this build makes perfect sense and offers a plethora of benefits for the mountain's first-timer experience. Based on this diagram, we do have some concerns about traffic flow between the top terminal of the new lift and the bottom of Lenawee, as that area is fairly small and busy enough as is. However, we are under the assumption that the build of this new quad would carry with it some significant earthwork to alleviate those concerns. Other than that, we have no issues with this build. The gondola, however, we do. The theory behind the gondola is that the learners will need a way to access this new beginner area, and the gondola offers that in addition to the option to download at the end of the day to prevent tired learners from pushing it too hard down Lower Wrangler. Additionally, logic stated in the master plan says that the gondola to the new quad would be an additional redundant out-of-base configuration to relieve the Black Mountain Express in the morning. However, this is Arapahoe Basin. Arapahoe Basin's entire culture is to keep it raw and real. That's why the legendary Pollavicini double was replaced with another nearly identical double chair when its time came. A gondola rising out of Arapahoe Basin's base area just isn't right, let's face it. That's just not a basin. That gondola would be incredibly short, just a touch longer than the Haymeadow Express beginner gondola at Beaver Creek. Culturally, Beaver Creek is about as opposite of A-Basin as you can get in Colorado. I think I speak for almost all A-Basin skiers and boarders when I say that we do not want A-Basin turning into Beaver Creek. Additionally, this schematic appears to have the gondola going out of the Mountain Goat Plaza, which is often packed for concerts, so we're not sure how they'd modify their concert logistics to accommodate the new gondola. The downloadability is a fair benefit, but skiers shouldn't be going up to Wrangler until after they've graduated Molly Hogan, and Chisholm Trail offers an alternative to the steepest part of Lower Wrangler. And finally, the additional out-of-base capacity? Really? Who is going to choose a 2-lift route over a 1-lift with a 4-minute line? Compared to literally every other ski area in the state, base area buildup at A-Basin is genuinely not that bad. Monarch Mountain has worse morning base area lines. If we were to have it entirely our way, we would still implement the Learner high-speed quad. But if they really truly feel the need to, a 6-pack upgrade for Black Mountain and some additional tree clearing and excavation on Upper Wrangler could easily provide access to the learning area. Without the detachable gondola, there would then be space on the looker's left side of the base area for a terminal of the parking lot pulse gondola. Alright, that take was admittedly harsh, but here's our major takeaway. If they're going to spend millions upon millions of dollars, there are several things, one of which we'll discuss in just a minute, that we believe that money would be better spent on than a beginner gondola. But for now, let's discuss the final aspect of this beginner upgrade plan, the facilities. A new 10,000-ish foot facility is planned. It would house ski school and potentially the rental shop accessed by the proposed gondola. Additionally, it would have restrooms and food and beverage facilities. This would free up some significant space in the base area, allowing some buildings down there to be redeveloped. Seating space at the Black Mountain Lodge can fill up quite quickly on peak days, so we really like the idea of another cafeteria down by Lenawee. That is, of course, if they build it as a cafeteria, because the master plan doesn't specify. Nonetheless, this building would improve a bunch of different things that most people won't really notice, but can make certain mountain operations easier. One of the other things that could potentially be controversial within this plan is an increase in parking. After all, the existing parking limitations ensure that the mountain can only see a certain number of skiers per day, but with more parking comes more people, more lines, and more crowds. This Moose Hollow parking lot would take the place of the current Chisholm Trail switchback and would have a pedestrian bridge to the Pulse gondola. If the beginner gondola were constructed, that switchback would no longer be necessary with the download capability on the gondola, so this makes sense. And expansion above Last Chance makes even more sense than the Moose Hollow parking. But again, with no major expansions or lift upgrades, these parking lots would serve only to put more people on Polivicini and Lenawee, which is questionable. And no, I'm not counting that beginner gondola, because the odds are that a vast majority of the additional guests accommodated by these new parking lots would not be using that new beginner setup and would just increase traffic on the old lift and trail network, which is in a nearly perfect balance right now. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Finally, we get to the existing stuff at A-Basin, which feels quite neglected in this plan. Over in the Zuma Bowl, a new groomer is proposed to be cut through the current Miners Glade area. This, while not overly noticeable, would be absolutely huge, as right now, Lower Larkspur requires an absolutely awful climb back up to the ridge, while this new run would go down the ridgeline and as such avoid that section. A-Basin still primarily uses military-style cannons to conduct avalanche mitigation work, but they're looking to move away from that expensive old-school style and install some new remote avalanche control systems. And finally, there is an extensive expansion to the snowmaking network that is proposed. While A-Basin is often the first ski area to open in Colorado, it starts to lag behind competitors such as Keystone in open terrain in the weeks following opening due to a lack of snowmaking coverage beyond just the lower mountain and a singular route in Lenawee. They're proposing a second route of snowmaking in the Lenawee pod, along with on both blues off of Polivicini, both blues in the Beavers, and the blues in the Zuma Bowl. If fully built, this would see A-Basin increase their snowmaking coverage to 100% of beginner terrain and approximately 90% of their intermediate terrain. This is all standard stuff at most ski resorts and will allow A-Basin to open their trails earlier while building a base that could potentially keep them open longer at the end as well. And now, finally, we come to the major thing that's missing from this master plan, a Zuma Bowl detachable. While we don't know the exact numbers, we would argue that Zuma is the second most popular terrain at A-Basin after Lenawee. The old Lenawee triple had a ride time of 8 minutes and stopped often due to misloads. They replaced it with a 6-pack to alleviate both of those issues. Zuma experiences those exact same issues, a long ride time and frequent stoppages, but rather than building a gondola that very few would use, we believe it would be a significantly better choice to upgrade Zuma to a detachable quad. There is plenty of space at both the bottom and top for detachable terminals, and it has all the same justifications used when they replaced Lenawee. It honestly doesn't make much sense to us that a Zuma detachable isn't on this master plan. Of course, a lot of aspects of this master plan don't make sense to us, but that's because we're not ski resort higher-ups. Take everything in this video with a grain of salt. Everything from what A-Basin is proposing to what we've said in return. None of this plan is guaranteed, and there is plenty of time before it's implemented. But nonetheless, after reading this master plan for the first time, we found ourselves rather disappointed. You've heard our take, and are free to make your own. We'd love to hear it down below. Thank you all for watching. All my love, I'm out.